You have no idea the amount of ignorant mess we're about to get into right now.
Sit your $5 ass down before I make you.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Black on Black Cinema. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
And Terrence.
What's up?
All right, guys. We're back. This is episode 157, When They See Us, Part 1. So this Part 1 will include our review of Episode 1 and 2, and then in 2 weeks we'll do Part 2, which will be the final 2 episodes of the miniseries. This is the first series we've done. You know, obviously we stick to movies normally, but we felt that this was highly important, and we would be remiss if we didn't cover it. So obviously this was directed by Ava DuVernay, and I'm just going to kind of go through the 4 actors who play the kids, right? And then we'll deal with the adult actors in the second episode. Asante Black, Khalil Harris, Ethan Heresy, and Gerald Jerome play. Oh, excuse me, and Marquise Rodriguez play the kids at the core of the Central Park 5 situation. So, if you've not seen this movie, it is on Netflix. We highly recommend it. It's 4 episodes. Each is about an hour and 10 minutes, and then the final episode is about an hour and a half. I cannot stress this. This is not the movie. This is a review of the series. So please, if you're looking for the series, do yourself a favor. Honestly, this is a series that you should support. If you are planning on not watching this because it is too triggering for you, we can understand that. But I think all 3 of us can. I think I can speak for us and say that we all would highly recommend it.
Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So again, it's on Netflix. Terrence, we'll start with you and then go around. Your thoughts on the first 2 episodes. I'll say that.
Look, I've seen it multiple times now. I, like you said offline, I don't have a bad thing to say about it. If anyone wants to know what institutional racism is, watch this. Watch these 2 episodes because it basically shows you exactly what it's like to be black in America. Like it just does. Like if you've ever been harassed by the police, like I've never been convicted of anything. But if they want to convict you of something and you're black, they'll do it. Like not just outside of being black, they'll do it anyway for whether you're white, black, it doesn't matter, poor. But like especially if you're black, they're just doing their job because that's pretty much what the cops are designed to do, like protect white people.
And property,
right. Yeah. Like everything is great about this, like the acting, just the direction. Again, we're going to talk about like episode 2, like we know what happens, but there's still, they use certain techniques to even when we know what happened, you still get this feeling of like, hey, you know, something may have been different. It's not, it just isn't. These kids were fucked over. And this really shows what happened to them. And it's, again, I can understand not wanting to watch it, but you'd be missing out. That's all I'm saying. Like, I feel like you should watch it just kind of, you know, just to get a feel for what it's like. If you're not black, I mean, if you're black, you already know what it's like. But if you're not, like, just watch this. This really happened. This is kind of like a moment in time of the black experience. It's worth watching. It just is. Yeah. This is a 5 out of 5 if we're going to rate it. Like, everybody should watch it.
Yeah. So for me, I've only seen it once. But so there are a couple things. Like we've been pushing just like a little inside baseball for the show. We had mentioned we were doing this a couple weeks ago, and then we had to push it just because our schedules got a little wonky. So we had to push it back. And we felt it was important for all 3 of us to be on that episode. Thank you guys for finally, you know, fixing your whatever issues you have with each other to come and be on one show together.
Well.
Mike is still mad about a fictional problem. Still a little tension.
I still don't trust that name.
Yeah, well, you just stay over there.
A narrative that is not true at all. But we felt it was important for all 3 of us to be on this episode. But what is interesting is, as much as I had dreaded watching it, and dreading it from the perspective of just because of the subject matter and it's heavy and it's hard to watch, not dreading it from like wanting to see it. I absolutely wanted to see it. I have to say, I never felt while watching it, like I always felt completely riveted to the story. Like I just did. And even I had seen the 2012 Ken Burns documentary. I had read plenty about Central Park 5. But I just felt that, just narratively speaking, it was so well done to pull you in, right? And again, to pull you in on a story you already know, which takes, I think, a level of skill. A couple of things. I mean, to echo what Terrence said, the acting is tremendous. The directing is fantastic. Like it's shot incredibly well. I'm not sure who the cinematographer is on this, but it looks beautiful. It is a great example of how to shoot black folks, dark-skinned black folks, in like proper lighting and things like that. Like all of the technical aspects of it, I thought were really well done. I think it's a good point to make here, which is this series proves one thing amongst many things. Netflix knows exactly what they're doing as far as making programming for people of color and taking social risk and not shying away from certain things. So like that idea that was perpetuated that Netflix doesn't give a shit about black voices, that's not true. It's just simply not true, right? Like it's one thing to do like Boy Bye or some other like nonsense, right? Like to get no, I'm serious, but like to get just like cheap views, or like the new Marlon Wayans movie. Like I mean, those are just kind of like cheap kind of throwaway things. But for them to do something like this with a director who they chose, or let her do it, basically they came into Ava DuVernay and were like, we just want to work with you. You do whatever you want, right? So off the heels of her doing 13th and then this, I think that should be kind of noted, right?
I don't know who was the cinematographer. Bradford Young.
Again.
Like, that dude's a beast.
Yeah, he's a beast.
He did Pariah, which was beautiful.
Also. And Moonlight as well.
No, I don't think he did Moonlight. He did Pariah, Selma.
Oh, Selma, that's it. Right.
Arrival.
Yeah, which is actually really beautifully shot. I've seen that. The other thing I will say, because I want to focus just sort of on the outside of the movie aspects of it for a second. The other thing I would say is, to a point that we were talking about with somebody else earlier offline, I think you got to give people their flowers while they're still here, as Joe Budden says. I think Ava DuVernay is now. You got to put her in a different category. Like you got to put her up with the pantheon of black directors, like you do. Selma, 13th, and this. I think like she to me is what's the dude who did Black Panther and
Ryan Coogler.
Ryan Coogler. She's there. She's there.
The two of them were exchanging. He went to her for assistance while filming Black Panther.
There you go.
Like they were doing the editing in the same location.
Interesting.
And he just walked over there and was like, hey, can you take a look at this?
That's dope.
Goddamn.
Yeah, that's dope. That's super dope. But I think where people put Coogler with his work, I'm not even talking about the Marvel stuff, but where they put his other work, Fruitvale Station and so on, where they put his work, I think that's where she needs to be now.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
And I think she has gotten better over the years. I thought 13th was fucking powerful and smartly done and everything else. This is next level shit. Like it really is. And I've always been a fan of her work from the jump, but I think she is somehow getting better every time. And as much as I'm excited to see what she does like commercially with like really mainstream stuff, this is her wheelhouse. Like stories of black people that are not known by the mainstream or things that really need to be dealt with as far as racial issues, this is her wheelhouse, and she's fucking nailing it. Yeah. She's super nailing it. So it's cool to see. I'm just so proud to see her accomplish what she has. Micah, your thoughts?
Yeah, I echo everything that you guys said. So I'll talk about me and the lead up to this. Yeah, I wanted to see this, but I was dreading watching it. And it took me a long time to, I watched the first two episodes, and it took me literally hours to get through them. And I'm sitting there and I'm crying, because this shit is fucked up, man. And I had to take a break. I was like, oh, I need to hold my son, because this is heavy, man. Like, this is something that I'm not, this is something that I'm going to have to deal with, right? Like, I'm going to have to make decisions to help shape a life and to protect a life, to make sure that he's not taken advantage of by people who will do so. It's their job. They get paid to fuck people over. Yep. And it's a sad state in this country, man. But so yeah, this shit brings me a lot of anxiety, man. And you said it earlier. I think that even knowing what happens, like the writing and direction and performances, are so good that we know what the verdict is going to be, but we still kind of have hope. Right. And it just is, it's just really fucked up, man. But yeah, this is mandatory viewing, man. This is, you bring out the cart with the TV strapped on it and the VCR at the bottom, and they put in Roots. Like, that's what you got to do with this.
Sits at the desk and does nothing for 3 hours.
Exactly.
He was like, "Oh, we doing When They See Us? Oh, let me go and take a break."
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But you're right. I think it should be.
Yeah, man. It's something that you need to watch, and not just in February. Like, you really do need to.
Will you show this to your son?
Watch this. Oh yeah. I am. I'm a firm believer that you shouldn't let TV raise your children, but stuff like this is art is what art is supposed to do. Like, yeah, art is there to entertain you, but it's supposed to make you think. And this says so many things that I don't have the words to say.
Yes.
I've lived a very, very privileged life. I have, man. What do I know about telling my son how to act around police? I've never been harassed, right? So I'm ignorant to it. But I know the shit happens. And things like this will spark discussion, I feel, with me and my son. And, that's what this is there for. And yeah, man, it's really good, man.
Yeah, look, to echo before we get started, to echo one of the things you said. Yeah, like, I cried multiple times. I just did. And you have a son, and so I think it rings, like, you can't help but see your son in that. Right?
It's so fucking scary, man.
Yeah,
it's so fucking scary, man.
I know. And it's just like, obviously, because there are 5 boys, and we know how black and brown boys are treated in this country. It's you can't help but think. You can't help but seeing your son in it, and you can't help but see yourself in it, right? Yeah, man. You can't, right? And like that to me was powerful. Like, I could see myself in them, all 5 of them, and it was just, am I strong enough at 14, 15, or 16 to deal with what they dealt with, dealing with shit that a 39-year-old me couldn't deal with now. Like, I don't know that I could.
People make fun of me because I refuse to, use masculine, like overtly masculine pronouns when referring to my son, like, hey, little man, and like, no, he's a boy. He's a boy, and we need to let boys be boys.
Which is a thing that they mentioned in this movie.
Yeah, man. And these kids were robbed of their childhood, and that's why you see so many men out here with arrested development now, just fascinated about hanging on to the past and wanting to live their life as kids and shit, man. Like, nah, man. Like,
there's a part where you have to grow up.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be too early.
And it shouldn't be too early. Yeah. So it's really good, man. You need to watch it.
Yeah. It's funny. Like, as I'm watching, I'm thinking to myself, I'm glad I have a daughter. And then immediately into my mind, I was like, yeah, but Sandra Bland. So no, that doesn't even fucking matter. It don't fucking matter. It don't fucking matter, man. It don't matter. And that, like, the rules of treating women like this, that shit is getting worse too.
Yeah, man.
So look, it's a powerful series, and if you have kids, even if you're not black, like, if you have kids, like, look, if you think they're taking it easy on poor people, you're wrong.
Right.
You're wrong.
It is open season on brown people.
Yeah. But poor white people, they dragging your ass along too. Make no mistake. Man. When they get done with us, they coming for your ass too. So it's just, you should be, and there's also another aspect to this, right? Which is, you should be able to see yourself in these kids, no matter who you are, because they're fucking kids. They're kids, right? Like, we were all 13 and 14 and 16. Like, we all were. At some point, we all were. And we were all hanging out with our friends, and it's very easy for somebody to pull some bullshit. All of us. So it doesn't matter what color you are, but if you are not black or you are not Latino, you should be able to see yourself just because they're innocent kids. But the other side to that is, you have to recognize that there is a unique situation that black and brown kids go through that maybe you don't go through, or your kids don't go through, but recognize that maybe your kids' friends go through that shit. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, it's like, this did not happen in 1859.
This shit happened 30 years ago.
Nigga, I was alive. They're 5 years older than us.
Yeah.
They're fucking 5 years older than us. That's the thing that fucks me up, right? Because if this happened in, like, 1965, I'd be like, wow, like, the world is so different. It was 89. They're playing music I listened to growing up.
Right.
It's fucking bizarre. It's bizarre. I'm like, yo, they're playing a Jay-Z song that came out in, like, 96 or something.
And this isn't the only incident where 5 kids were wrongfully accused or something. Like, this has been happening for hundreds of years.
Right. But the funny thing is, and then we have really got to get started. The funny thing is, if you want to say, well, this was an extreme case.
No, it's not.
One, it isn't. But let's say you're brutally ignorant, like a lot of Americans are. This is an extreme case. It's so different. This is New York City in 1989. What the fuck do you think stop and frisk is? What the fuck do you think that is? Going around and arresting and harassing and haranguing black and brown kids all over the fucking city. That was a fucking protocol that they instituted across an entire city of 8 million people. But somehow it only hit the black and brown kids. Like, what the fuck? 7 million people in New York are not all black and brown. It's a whole lot of white kids who didn't get fucking caught. It is a systematic fucking protocol. Like, it is. Let's go after these people. That's what it is. So, no, stop and frisk is just a modern version of this. That's all it is. Hoping that, if we get them for this, maybe we can grab them for other shit. That's all it is. That's all it is. All right.
Harlem, 1989. We are introduced to 5 adolescents: Raymond, Kevin, Corey, Yusef, and Antron. And they are shown in comfortable, familiar residential neighborhood of Harlem, bantering with each other and playing. Eventually, a group of about 30 kids are shown roaming around Central Park, including our main characters. Now, Corey, Yusef, and Antron split from the pack, and they witness a bunch of kids just assaulting a white guy. Kevin, who is in the park by himself, the youngest one, who's 14, he also witnesses the attack. All of a sudden, you hear a bunch of police sirens, and everyone starts to run away, right? Because, time to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Been there a couple times. I'm not even gonna lie.
Don't need to be here for that.
All right.
Like, nope.
Police sweep the area, and they violently apprehend whomever they can catch. And I say that because it is, like, at one point, one of the cops catches Kevin, calls him an animal, and beats him over the head with his helmet.
That was fucking brutal, dude.
I mean, goddamn, like, I come in here and I say, oh, it's ridiculous. Terrence is ridiculous. You don't really hate all white people. And Jay, you're ridiculous. You don't really hate all cops. Well, shit like this that happens makes me look like an idiot. So
I have to tell you, I watched the first 2 episodes and I literally said out loud, every single white person in this movie is a piece of shit. Every single one. And I was wrong. There's one white person. She shows up all the way at the end.
Yeah.
Fucking Jean Grey from the X-Men movies.
Zinnia on a top.
Yeah. So that was it. It was like it was her in the fucking guard.
Or her and what's his name? The dude from
Joshua Jackson. He came a long way.
Dawson's Creek.
He actually had a pretty good role. I thought he was good. But there's like a handful.
There's like 2 or 3.
Yeah,
that's
and
about it.
That's it, man.
And what
White people get your numbers up.
What an accurate portrayal of white people in my sphere.
That's about
Just a whole bunch of fucking nonsense, and then there's Andy, Jack, Carrie, and Brad, and that's it.
I mean,
it's just yeah.
Yeah, you said I don't really fuck with white people. I don't fuck with cops either.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah.
I don't like none of them. I just saw one of my homeboys as a cop now, yo. That shit broke my heart.
See, white or black?
Black.
No, well,
He's like a state trooper. He go with the brown shit. Is that state trooper?
that's state
trooper. I was like, yo,
I know a
nigga.
state trooper. I know a state trooper. He's a nice guy.
Is he?
He is a nice guy.
Look at this guy sleeping with the enemy. Relax.
But yeah. So and he calls him an animal, man. Like
Yeah, that comes up a lot.
yeah. They refer these boys as animals all the time, man. And again, that's some shit that they teach you. That's some shit they teach you in the military. You gotta. It's easier to disassociate, the person as a human being that you are assaulting when you dehumanize them.
Yeah. Charlie.
Yeah.
Charlie, Gook. Whatever.
Raghead,
Yeah, whatever you need to say to take their humanity away. It's just really disgusting.
But all those people are probably dog lovers, like actual animals and shit. Like it's very odd to me, right?
Yeah, because they rescue dogs from over there all the time.
Right. So
And what about those kids? Nah, fuck those kids.
no, fuck them, yo. Fuck them.
Grab that German Shepherd though. All right.
And then maybe we get the title, When They See Us.
Do you find that? I find the title to be ominous.
Yeah,
Right?
she was going to name it the Central Park 5, but then she was
Right.
like, no, When They See Us is better.
Yeah, because
is.
Central Park 5 is, they said and so there was a special, that Oprah hosted with the entire cast and the actual 5 men, and they said that one of the reasons I wanted to change it is because the Central Park 5 is the name that the press gave them, and the press they weren't doing their job. That's what they labeled them. They didn't see them for who they were. They saw them as this collective unit of
Animals.
yeah. So she was like, "Nah, fuck that."
Right, but I find the title to be ominous only from the perspective of like when they see us. I took it as 2 things. When they see us, as far as when the people in the courtroom see that we're kids, they'll let us go. Right? They didn't. Or when they finally see us as human beings and not what they assumed we were. We're exonerated. We're greeted as these normal parts of society. So it's, and I don't know what her reasoning behind it, but that was how I took the title, which I thought was interesting.
I took it more as this is what happens when they see us.
Oh, and that also works.
Yeah, I took it as what do they see when they see us? When they see us, what?
Right.
Like, what is it? Yeah. Do you see kids? Do you see adults? You see niggas? Like, what do you see when you see us?
Well, the last 2, yes.
Yeah. Nigga kids.
Nigglets. Yeah. I have the title. A little later, Linda Fairstein shows up.
Cough. The worst person. The worst person.
Yo, you gotta watch that Oprah documentary. Oprah was like, "Do you blame Linda Fairstein?" And what's his
Antron?
name? No, not Antron. At least not yet. He wasn't the first person. Corey was just the one who was like, "Yup."
Yeah, one word.
Yep.
Fuck that bitch.
He even waved like, "Bye." He's like, "Yeah, she's gotten this taken away and this taken away and this taken away. Bye."
No, she's a horror. Like, there's another person in this story that is a horrible human being, who continues to be a horrible human being even now. But
Well, yeah.
but I am like, it is almost impressive how shitty Felicity Huffman is as this character. I'm like, yo, they should have arrested you not for the fucking college scandal, just for your portrayal in this. Like, this shit is way too real. Yo, I hated her fucking guts.
This is a fucking Homelander situation.
Yeah, like, nah, yo, I can't trust her anymore.
Play this part too fucking well. You know, I don't like you.
Nah, yo. When she got in trouble for the college scandal, I was like, that's about right. You should pay for what you did. Like, I was acting. You should pay for what you did. Nah, she was incredible. Like, all props to her as an actress because it was believable as fuck. I fucking hated her guts. Nah, I don't fuck with Felicity Huffman no more. No. I used to be a huge Felicity Huffman fan. I don't fuck with her like that.
Linda Fairstein shows up at the park and is informed by detectives at the scene that a white female has been assaulted and has severe injuries. It is now morning, and Fairstein is at the police station and drafts a statement on the night's proceedings. And the statement is, from what I can remember, it's been a long time since I've watched these two episodes, but the statement was using a bunch of like coding and dog whistling and shit like that to try and
right. Well, and the other part that she did that really made me mad was she's like, she pulled a Bill O'Reilly, right? Which is, I'm going to say two things that are true, and I'm going to say a third thing that isn't proven true, but because it's in the realm of the other two things, people just take it as truth, right? She goes, there were assaults in the park. That is true.
Yeah.
These kids were in the park. That is true.
Ergo,
they raped this one. I'm like, nigga, how the fuck did you get there? That shit made me so mad. And like everyone else is like, yeah,
it makes sense to me.
I'm like, yo, there are some logic leaps. We need to go back to a logic course because that does not work. You can't just say that. And she was just like 1, 2, 7. I was like, all right, fuck it. And then they just like every time she kept doing that, I was like, surely there will be a normal human being who will come in and be like,
make any fucking sense.
No. Like, no. And they were like, no, you're right. You got this. Like, they'll just die in a tire fire, yo. Like, seriously. Is she still alive?
She is.
Damn it. She's 72? All right, yo.
She's very much alive. And
yeah, no, they tried to wreck her whole life after this movie came out.
Yeah.
Good.
On the one hand, like, I'm really glad that this is out there and she is kind of getting her comeuppance. On the other hand, like, it's been 30 years. Like,
yeah, no, she got the rock with that shit for a long time.
Yeah. But
and she still didn't think she did anything wrong.
Yeah, she still don't think she did anything wrong. Like I looked at a lot of to find out what she was up to and what Lederer was up to, and Fairstein is just like, what?
And
I did my job.
Did my job. Like, but you didn't though. Like, you convicted 5 kids with no evidence. That's kind of amazing. Actually.
I'd say I'm pretty great at my job.
Well,
yeah. I mean, right. I think that's how she takes it. Is her job was to, I guess her job was to put somebody in jail, whether that's the right person.
And
or
that's
not.
kind of what prosecutors and cops, they have a really good relationship with each other.
Yep, that's a problem.
Which doesn't make sense. Like, what the fuck?
Kamala Harris. But, yeah.
Like, that shit doesn't make sense.
We
man.
have to overhaul the entire justice system.
God damn.
Or injustice system, because it's not just.
Kevin's mother shows up to the station to get her 14-year-old son. Raymond's parents come to get him. and they're berated by this black cop, Terrence's friend.
Oh damn!
I actually had to delete a friend off of Facebook because he was a cop.
Oh, was he? Is he one of them Blue Lives Matter cops, or is
it was kind of like a, hey, I'm a cop. I see a lot of terrible shit in my job, so you don't really know what it's like. It's almost like the Brian thing. You don't know what it's like to be a child.
Yeah, you don't know what it's like.
No, you don't.
A dad. I don't know what it's like to be a cop, but at the same time, I didn't choose to be a cop. That's sorry, bro.
And look, I
get it.
I have no
terrible shit.
I have no
you
doubt.
signed up for it.
I have no doubt that
You signed up
that
to see
the
someone
police
with their head blown off if you pull up to a scene of a crime. Like, hey, that ain't my fault.
Right.
People are terrible. You see the worst of humanity.
Great. Doesn't give you carte blanche to be a piece of shit either.
Yeah.
Right.
Or excuse piece of shit behavior. It's not.
Yeah, so
And if you think-
I can't
and
have
if
this conversation with you anymore. So I just I just delete
Like,
it.
if you think that it's an excuse to be like, well, it's really terrible out there, so, I'm just going to let this other shit pass, it's not. Then you shouldn't be a cop. If you're not willing to fucking talk about the terrible things that police officers do, you shouldn't be a cop. You're supposed to uphold the law, not uphold the laws that you find convenient. Like, no, what are you, a priest? Knock it off. Yeah, I said it.
this black cop is berating Raymond Santana Sr. and his wife.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't care for that.
Because dude played by John Leguizamo, the dude's dad played by John Leguizamo, because
He put in work, by the way.
I like John
he got
Leguizamo.
nominated for an Emmy.
Yeah, you know what? His career is an interesting one, by the way.
Yeah, remember he was the Violator in Spawn.
I always thought he was a good actor. Like, he just had some not so great movies.
Yeah, he was the best.
Yeah. Yo, my God.
That movie's bad. Like,
It's
it's real
terrible. But he's a solid actor.
He's had a nice comeuppance as far as getting into drama and stuff like that, which has been good for him.
Yeah. No one will ever get his infamous role as Luigi Mario in Super Mario Brothers.
Classic Italian plumber. John Leguizamo. Wow.
He is being berated by this black cop because the cop was like, I called you, 12 hours ago. You couldn't pick up your son. He was like, I had to work, man.
Work, nigga. What the fuck?
I had to work. I can't just roll off of work. I'll get fired. And then what? It's like, no, it's no excuse. Like, isn't it though?
Okay, so I do have a question. Do you find that, obviously we were 8 and 9 years old in 1989, so we don't have much of a perspective from that. But do you find, when you watch these type of movies and things like that, do you find that people of color have more of a sense of what their rights are against police versus then? Yeah, now versus then. I feel like people are more informed because I feel like a lot of the things that happen to these parents, I don't think they'd let that shit rock now. Like, if this happened in 2019, I feel like parents would be like, nah, you're not sitting in a room with my kid.
Yeah, I don't think any parent worth a damn would allow that shit.
But they felt disempowered. They felt disempowered. They didn't know.
Here's the thing. We have cell phones now.
Right.
Granted, I think they confiscate your shit once you go to, I ain't trying to go to jail or be arrested for anything. But you get that, you make that phone call. I feel like if I'm a parent, I'm pretty much going to have to stop what I'm doing to get down to the station.
Oh, no, there's no question.
I'm working, but my son just got arrested for something. I got to go down to the station. Yeah. I have to. If you fire me for some shit like this, you're fucked up.
Yeah, I feel like it's not a job. It's not a job I need to be in.
Yeah, it's I'm leaving and I'm going there instantly. If I have a 14-year-old son or a 14-year-old daughter, whatever, and they're like, "Yeah, I got arrested," and I'm like, "What? Wait, what?"
But we're talking about this from
it's a privilege
30 years in the future.
Well, I know. And we also all have jobs where we're not working shift jobs. It's clear that everyone
and we have
there
the capability and we have the capability. If push came to shove, and we're like, if you walk out this door, you're fired. Well, fuck you. I'm fired. I'll get another job. Right. This guy can't get another job.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. They are grossly disempowered. But I feel like people are, not all people, obviously. There's some people who still have shift work and stuff like that.
I feel like even if you had shift work at this time,
you figured you would get somebody to cover you.
Look, I have to go. My fucking son is been arrested. I have to go down.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a question for me.
I'm leaving. Nah, yo, fuck that. I gotta go.
Right.
Sorry.
But society has made that man feel like he couldn't leave.
Yeah.
I'm asking.
I think that's true because I think that there's an aspect. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I think there's an aspect of like capitalism here, right? Which is like you have to work. You have to work. You don't get to walk away no matter what is going on because that you earning that living is the most important thing, right? Because that's how thin the margins are, especially for black and brown folks. That if you lose that job, you got a good job. You lose that job, that might be it for you. That's the difference between you being on the street and you not being on the street. Even if your son has to stay in jail for 12 extra hours and he's fucking 15 years old. Like, that's how thin the fucking margins are. By the way, one of the reasons why capitalism should not be the go-to for people of color, because there are winners and there are fucking losers. And guess what? Guess what side we're almost always on? Almost always. So, don't champion that shit.
Next scene, the kids are put in a room and Fairstein is interrogating one of them.
Cunt.
And she demands that the detectives continue to the interrogations for all of the kids in the room. In the McCrae house, and it was Anton or Antron? Antron's father, Bobby, played by Michael Kenneth Williams, finds out that Antron didn't get home until late. And he's pissed. The police show up to the McCrae house and take Antron and Bobby, the father, to the station. Fairstein is trying to piece together the picture and deems all of the juveniles as suspects because she's not good at her job. She's like, fuck it, everybody did it.
Yeah, this bitch is like, yo, 400 niggas just raped this one white woman. Like, what the fuck kind of logic is it? Oh, I don't know. We got 5? Yeah, 5 did it. 6? Fucking 6. I hate Felicity Huffman. I hate her.
Yeah.
Did she get a nomination?
I wouldn't be surprised
I don't know.
if she didn't.
I mean, look, she deserved it because, like, this
Yeah.
shit is amazing. Like, I hate your guts, yo. I do.
Fairstein confronts the ADA Nancy Ryan about the case. Fairstein is seen presenting her case to the police at the station, right? Because you get your marching orders from, somebody a little higher up, and as much as like cops are the way they are, like I never understood the pig analogy. Like when they're more like dogs. Like when my son grows up, the easiest analogy that I can do for him is to tell him to treat the cops like you would treat a wild dog. Like you wouldn't
How
go,
you would, or how like a
normal person.
Okay, all right.
You're not gonna just roll up to a wild dog.
Fuck and no.
Right.
Nah.
Like some of them are good if they're leashed properly, but you're not just gonna go up to one. And if one is confronting you, you're not gonna run at it.
Nope. Other way.
Right.
Other way.
And even then, I mean,
I don't always work for everybody.
right. Anyway, Fairstein is at the top, and she's training these dogs.
Right.
That this is the story.
Yeah, no, she's putting a scent out and then just and just go.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's actually a good analogy.
And she and she's just a fucking bitch.
Yeah, I fucking hate her. Yeah. Specifically for Felicity Huffman.
So she tells the dogs, go sick 'em. Every black kid that you can find who was at that park and bring them back. Right.
Yeah, that's a wild thing. Just go into Harlem and just find young black and brown kids. Like, nigga is so all of Harlem.
Yeah, just start rounding up Harlem.
Right. All right,
Like, okay, cool.
By the way, you know how we talk about, like, on an international level, how doing damage or like blowing up cities in other countries, Muslim countries, that creates terrorists, right? You kill a little kid's parents, and that kid gets radicalized to then 20 years later, become a terrorist or whatever, right? Like, we're not even 20 years later, sometimes fucking 2 years later. We talk about that. And that's a completely understood fact of life. Like, yeah, like we might still do it, but we understand, like, yeah, that's what causes that. But we never think that destroying black and brown families does the same thing. Not as far as terrorism is concerned, but breaks them in a way that they don't know how to function in society.
Right. Like they don't.
That's why drug dealing continues, cycles in and out of families, and drug use does, and violence and all. Why are all of these kids acting this way? Well, generationally, you have destroyed every time there's a family. You've done it every time. But somehow in the American conversation, we never get that. We just go, oh, these niggas are wilding, and that's it. That's it.
And she was trying to figure out what that meant through like the beginning of this.
Yeah.
All the time.
Wilding.
What does wilding mean?
What is wilding?
Wilding.
First of all,
Yeah. One, I was like, you're the whitest person on the show.
Yeah, it's wilding, It's wilding. The D is silent.
Like Django, apparently. Yeah. So that point sticks with me. Like we somehow understand this on an international level, but we cannot understand it. We cannot understand systemic issues when it comes to right at home. We never can. Never can. This country, I swear to God.
So cops are, out rounding up black boys, and Yusef and Corey are coerced into going to the police station. Next couple scenes, detectives are shown illegally interrogating 14-year-old Kevin Richardson. Antron is illegally interrogated. Yusef is interrogated. Raymond is illegally interrogated. And the cops are trying to illegally coerce a confession from these children.
Yeah.
Raymond is the first to crack, right? Because they've been in there for hours upon hours upon hours, right? It's a form of sensory deprivation.
It's called the Reed technique.
Yeah.
Interrogation is an accusatory process in which the investigator tells the subject that the results of the investigation clearly indicate they did not commit the crime in question. The Reed technique's user's goal is to make the suspect gradually more comfortable with telling the truth, aka lying on themselves. And this is, by the way, has been banned. This was created by John E. Reed. He died in 1982, so good. Fuck him. Yeah. And there are 9 steps to this level of interrogation. I'll just quickly kind of go through them, which is step 1, direct confrontation. Advise the suspect that the evidence has led the police to them. 2, try to shift the blame away from the suspect to some other person or set of circumstances that prompted the suspect to commit the crime. 3, try to minimize the frequency of suspect denials. 4, at this point, the accused will often give a reason why he or she did not or could not commit the crime. Try to use this to move towards the acknowledgement of what they did. 5, reinforce sincerity to ensure that the suspect is receptive. 6, the suspect will become quieter and listen. Move the theme of the discussion towards offering alternatives. If the suspect cries at this point, infer guilt. 7, pose the alternative question, giving 2 choices for what happened, one more socially acceptable than the other. The suspect is expected to choose the easier option, but whichever alternative the suspect chooses, guilt is admitted. Number 8, lead the suspect to repeat the admission of guilt in front of witnesses and develop corroborating information to establish the validity of the confession. And the last one, 9, document the suspect's admission or confession and have him or her prepare a recorded statement, audio, video, or written. That's exactly what they did. It's exactly what the fuck they did. Which, by the way, number 6 is really fucking gross. If the suspect cries, infer guilt. They're fucking kids.
Yeah.
Yo, you ever told a kid to take a nap? They cry about it. What the fuck? You raped a woman. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. Crying. You did it. What the fuck, dude?
That's why you're crying.
That's why you're crying. Because you did it.
You did it.
Like, no, nigga, I'm crying because I'm scared. Nigga, you put me in a room for 18 hours and I'm 39 goddamn years old and you tell me I raped some woman? Get the fuck. Yo, I'm gonna cry, nigga. What the fuck? Yes, I will. I'm secure enough in my masculinity to absolutely say that because I ain't do that shit.
They would put me in jail.
Not admitting that shit, yo.
Like, they would put me in jail because my biggest pet peeve in life is to be told I did something that I did not did. I would throw a fucking brick at the motherfucker. In the police, I would throw a chair at. I would do what the fuck Michael K. Williams did when he told his son like to lie. I would throw a chair at him. Like, I didn't fucking do it.
They use that against him. So
yeah, that was so fucked up.
Like,
I would.
You got mad?
Like, yeah, because y'all told me y'all was gonna put my son in prison. What the fuck? Of course I got mad, nigga. What the fuck you expect? Yeah. But I'd have threw something at them niggas.
Not a loss.
And I'd have went to jail for assaulting a cop because I could not take it. I wouldn't be able to take it. I couldn't. I know myself. At 38, I would not be able to. Like, I wouldn't cry, but I would just be like, yo, get the fuck out of my face. I didn't do it. Like, you keep telling me I did it, I'm gonna throw something at you. Oh, you're threatening me? Like, yeah. Like, please yeah, yo, please stop.
Well, it's the Dave Chappelle thing, right? It's like, oh, you saw the woman? No, I didn't. Like, bitch, I'll kill you. Like, please believe me. Like,
please believe me.
Like, because you'll lose your mind.
Yeah, I would lose my shit.
Yeah, you can't prove a negative. Like, no, that's a situation no one wants to be in. So, yeah. Oh, there's a risk of false confession. I won't read it, but in the Wikipedia entry for 9 steps of interrogation for the Reed technique, guess what's under risk of false confession? The Central Park fucking 5. That's literally in there.
Right. Number 7, as stated above, there's always a third option, which is to maintain that they did not commit the crime.
You mean the truth then?
Yeah, the truth.
There's always a third option. These niggas could be telling the truth.
Like, but, you know, it's fine.
Ignore that one.
Yeah, that shit don't count.
Fuck you.
Get your case closed. By any means necessary.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Bobby, Antron's father, pleads with detectives that Antron didn't do anything, and the detectives implicitly threatens to get Bobby fired from his job if Bobby doesn't, quote, talk some sense into his kid.
I want to ask you about that specifically, but I just read something, and I'm sorry, I want to quickly go back to the Reed technique. Of the this is a quote from Wikipedia. Of the 311 people exonerated through post-conviction DNA testing, more than a quarter had given false confessions using this technique.
Yeah.
A quarter of them. So don't think it's just these 5 kids. A quarter of these people gave false fucking confessions because of this. By the way, that would be a really good social experiment, to take people and get them to admit something that they didn't do under the same duress. Right? Obviously, don't put them in jail and all this other shit. Right. But if you could put someone in a room for 18 hours and just banging them, and see how many people you could break. I bet you could break a lot.
Probably
the
especially now. Yeah.
I bet you could break a lot. Like, if you just said, no, we saw you, we got cameras, we saw you do this. I bet you could. I bet you fucking could.
Yeah, I mean, like, you fucking didn't.
As easily as gaslighting works.
Yes, and it does.
You most certainly could do that.
I bet you get more than a quarter.
And it wouldn't take no goddamn 18 hours to do it either.
Right. You'd be like, what? You got me on camera. Okay.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
yeah,
like, look at that. Yeah, like, even if you didn't.
Yeah, don't tell me I did some shit I ain't do, because I'm not admitting to it. Fuck you. Yeah, so you had to beat my ass. I've been punched in the face before. It hurts. But again, I'm not admitting to some shit I ain't do. Fuck you. Nah, you ain't getting me.
I'm sorry. So Michael K. Williams' character is told to talk some sense into his son. How do you feel about that?
Yo,
this is one of the most heartbreaking parts of this entire series.
I felt every range of emotion you could possibly feel from Michael K. Williams at that point, right? Like,
yeah, because I do feel sorry for him.
I do, but at the same time, like, what the fuck are you doing, yo? Like, that's your son, yo. Like, don't just tell him that shit. But then you got to realize that, well, you know, he's in a certain situation where he is looking out for his son, right? And he's just like, look, just tell him what you want so we can come home, because that's the most important thing right now, is for you to get out of here so you can come home. Like, I'm angry and sad and you know, I feel for you, but and all I keep telling myself is it wouldn't be me. And I like to think it wouldn't, because, you know, I mean, I don't want to say that this guy wasn't smart, but he wasn't smart. And I'm not.
But that's what I'm talking about, as far as people having a better sense of their rights now than they did then. And I think they do now.
Yeah.
I think they do.
Yeah, I would argue they do, but at the same time, you have to remember he's a convicted felon.
You're not.
Right.
So like
Your perspectives are wild.
Right.
So what do you do? You're a convicted felon. You know how the system works. I mean, he knows how the system works because he's been through it.
And he's
like,
doing whatever he can.
He's trying to get his son home, but at the same time, the cops are like, "Yo, if he just admits to this fucking heinous act, he can go home.
Like that doesn't make sense.
Make fucking sense. So it's kind of like, but at the same time, you're not thinking clearly because it's like, yo, I just want my son home. I know what it's like to be in jail. I don't want him to go there. Period.
So you're willing to do anything.
So you're just like, but the cops are shitty. It's a fucked up situation for him.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what you do in that situation.
I don't.
I know what I do. I'm like, nah, what I'm lying. But like, get a lawyer, but then that's money that you don't have.
How are you going to pay for it?
You get a public defender who has 1,000 fucking cases on his desk every day. So it's all fucked up. Like,
there's also the other part to this when Michael K. Williams is sitting outside of the room and he's talking to the white cop who's the one who says you need to go in there and talk some sense to your son. Ava DuVernay shoots that scene from the cop's perspective, looking down on him. Right, like physically looking down.
Yeah,
on
he's
him.
sitting down.
Right, and it's made, at least from my perspective, it seems to be made to show him as a child. Right, like the perspective of an adult telling you what to do, just like the adults are telling the other kids what to do. Right, in that moment, he's reduced. He's not standing toe to toe with that cop as a man.
Yeah, he's sitting he's sitting down, like kind of looking sheepish. Yeah. Like, look,
he's breaking him. Right, and the only parent who isn't broken like that is Yusef's mother.
Yeah, because
she was like, "Get the fuck out of here! Give me my son!" Right? She was there. That's, by the way, that's my mother, 100%. Like, my mom would not. No,
yeah, my mother would
she burned that whole place down.
My mother would shoot at a cop. Like, Ma, you
kind of fucking my whole shit up.
You fucked my shit up. Now, all right, now we both in jail. Like,
come sit down next to me. But I just thought that was a powerful way to play that, to show how using his record. It was used as a weapon against him too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like later on, I think in episode 3 or 4, it might even be episode 2 actually, or episode 3, they make a point of saying like, once they get you, they got you, right? Like once you're in that system, they got you forever. And this is a perfect example.
Yeah, it's when they get out, and I think his parole officer like,
it's when Raymond's trying to get a job. Like once they have you. You are in that system and you can't get out. And that felony can be used against you at any time. And right at one of the most vulnerable times in his life, it is used against him to put his own son in peril, which is really fucking disgusting.
Yeah, it's a fucking question on a job application, yo.
They fuck your whole life up for it. Like, yo, I did my time. Like, no, that's cool. But
cool. But were you in prison? Like, I mean, yeah, but like, why are you bringing up old shit? Kind of thing. It don't matter. And then the other one, were you a sex offender? Like, well, might as well throw this shit in the trash. God damn.
Yeah. If you have sex offender on your resume, or on that application, it's over for you.
Yeah,
it's over.
You're not getting a call back.
No. And look, I run a business. Sorry, I wouldn't. Like, and that's fucked up. It's fucked up for me to say that, but is it though? Is it? Because I don't know. The problem is there's no details. Yeah. Right? People have gotten busted for being put on as a Schedule 1 or Level 1 sex offender for taking a piss in public.
Yeah.
You can't put that on the same list as a guy who's raping people. What the fuck kind of nuance? Please. Jesus Christ. Dude, that's my biggest fear, by the way. It's my biggest fear. Oh, Joe, just go pee over there. No, where's a bathroom? I don't trust it. You're not fucking my wife up, yo. No, fuck that.
Yo, I've been in situations where I have to piss like a fucking
Don't do that, yo.
And I'm driving home, like I can't pull over.
Piss your pants first, you know.
Piss yourself on the subway. Fuck it.
I'm like,
just keep your pants on.
Why don't you just pull over and piss? I'm like, nah, yo, I got a great bladder. My bladder is the greatest bladder in the world. Oh, fuck that. I'm not pissing in the forest.
No one has had a greater bladder. No, yo, I don't trust it. When I heard that story of people getting busted and being put on the sex offenders list for pissing in public, I was like, never again. Never again. And every guy has done it. Every guy has done it. Don't do that.
I'm like, nah, I can't. Like, I'll hold that shit.
Nah, piss your pants first, yo. The level of embarrassment is worth it. It's worth it. It's just piss your pants. If you learn nothing from this entire episode, pee your pants instead of pissing in public. Seriously.
Moving
right along.
Bobby tells his son to say what the police want to hear so they can get out of there. And there's a quote that Michael K. Williams says, his character says, when the police want what they want, they'll do anything. They'll lock us up. They'll lie on us. They'll lock us up and they'll kill us. And
I don't want them to kill my son.
Right. And
yeah, that was one of the times where I'm just like, yo, I was just like, just fucking pause.
Well, pause this shit. I gotta go hug him, like, cause I can't fucking deal with this, man.
This is my fear as a parent. Like, it is a true fear of mine that I would have to put myself in a situation to stand between cops and my kid.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. No, it's just incredibly hard. And for people, especially people who have boys, like, because black and brown boys are seen in such a different light in this country.
Seen as grown ass men, yo. That's seen as grown ass men, no matter how small the 12-year-old Tamir Rice is. Yeah. He was seen as a grown ass man,
which is nuts. I mean, like, I don't know what Kevin in reality looked like, but the kid who played him,
yeah,
he's
like 13.
He looked young as shit. I'm like, if I walk up and it's like, yeah, this is the kid who did it, I'm like, no, it's not, yo. No, it's
like,
not,
what
yo.
are you talking about?
No, yo, get out of my face. No, it's not. This little nigga held down.
This motherfucker don't even look like he been through puberty yet, yo. Like,
right.
He looks
Who he holding
shit.
down, yo? Who is he holding down? Look at his arms. Look at him. Look at that. Like, this kid is fucking tiny. Knock it off. But we're always seen as bigger and like, yo. I'm telling you, I will never forget this one dude who was like an inch and a half shorter than me. Was like, oh, you know, like big black guy. I'm like, yo, I'm 5'9", 155 pounds on an average day. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, nigga, you're fatter than me. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, that's really bizarre.
Yeah,
that's really fucking weird.
But we are seen as like gigantic, and that comes from institutionalized racism and television portraying us this way. We're giant. We're all NBA players. Like, bitch, no, I'm not. And some of us are tall but can't play basketball for shit. This fucking guy. That's fine because I'm short and can't play basketball for shit, so it's not really an argument about that. But yeah, these kids they're fucking children, and like I just kept saying that over and over again. I'm like, these are fucking kids. Where is anyone's humanity here? It doesn't exist.
The police are trying to piece together their case from the jogger's point of view and are having trouble with the timeline because it doesn't make sense. Right. So they just make shit up.
Also, white women, stop jogging in the fucking park at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck how regentrified your neighborhood is.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Like, don't jog.
And that's not blaming the victim.
Right.
Just keep your head in a swivel.
It's not blaming the victim. It's just common sense.
It's just common sense.
Yeah.
Like, you running in a dark ass Central Park, nigga? What the fuck?
I'm not running in Central Park at 12 o'clock at midnight.
Right, it's
by my damn self.
Right,
and I'm the big black nigga. Like, what the fuck? No, I'm not trying to run into a bunch of wilding ass kids. Like, right, what is going on? This is ridiculous. But anyway,
right? Yeah, I was just like, what are you doing?
That's how good it must be able to be white.
Exactly. That's what it tells me, yo.
Yeah.
What could happen to me, nigga? The horrible things that happen to you.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But in the city, there's lights. There are people.
Raymond Sr. comes in to interview with his son, Raymond Jr. Raymond Jr. tells Senior to stop trying to help because he made a deal to snitch on the people that he don't know.
Right. Wait, what?
He made a deal to snitch on them other guys, and they didn't.
No, like his father probably.
Yeah, his father was like,
"The fuck you
gay?
Snitching on what?"
Kevin is being coerced by a guy playing the good cop, and
I don't like this dude.
I don't like him at all, but I think it's because I'm two-faced like that, so I don't, I would be the good cop. I wouldn't scream at somebody and be like, look, we're just trying to help you, all right? Now you just tell me what I need to hear, and then I can get that fucking asshole. See, if we were good cop, bad cop, you would most definitely be the bad cop.
Oh, no,
you would revel in that shit.
No, I like that.
And then I would come in and be like, look, this motherfucker, look, you see him? He's a
psychopath.
He's a psycho. You see, he's all short and swole. Like that's how short, swole people are, man. Like look. You tell me the thin, tall gentleman. What you want? Look,
Thin.
right. You see him puffing his shirt out. I can't see my stomach.
Yeah. I was like, that's apparently there are many lies being told in this interrogation. All right.
See, that's how good I am. That's the good cop. I tell these good lies.
I even lie on my own physique. All right, nigga, whatever. No, 100% would be the best.
It's so weird how they do the good cop, bad cop thing.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like a trope in movies, but they really do.
They really do it.
Like, it's
Yeah,
so fucking
man.
weird. Like this motherfucker's crazy. He wants to beat your face in. Like, I'm just trying to help you out.
Come to me.
Help you.
Right.
Like, I don't want to help none of y'all niggas. I want to go home.
I don't trust him or you.
Right. Where's my lawyer?
Yeah. No, see, that's it. Look, if I ever get arrested, and I pray that I don't. No, I'm the worst type of black person to get arrested because I'm smart. I got money, and I'm gonna be an asshole about it. Lawyer. Well, no, lawyer. No, I ain't saying nothing. Nope. Arms crossed. You know who my dad is. Lawyer. No.
Yeah, I get super defensive. Like, when I cross my arms, that means my wall is
That's
up.
it.
Walls are up.
My wall is up. Like, it's like the fucking the armor on a Batmobile. Like, remember Batman 89 shields. Like, nah, fuck that. You're not getting to it. No. Like, I'll go ahead and write a statement. LAWER Fifth FIF. Fuck you. Where's my lawyer?
Yeah,
and I ain't got no money. Give me a public defender.
No, I would just be like lawyer, yo.
I'm not saying shit.
All right.
Not nothing.
I got good willpower if I have a strong sense of will if I need to have it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not.
Like, shit, your wife's a lawyer. Like, where's my wife?
Right. Do you know who my wife is?
What kind of law? That's not
Don't
important.
fucking worry about it.
Right. Look, she know enough contacts to get the right kind of lawyer.
She does. It's true.
So Kevin is being interrogated by the guy playing the good cop, and he admits to being involved even though he didn't do anything. Kevin's sister Angie and her fine ass comes.
Yeah, all right. I was like, look, this is a very serious mini-series, but like, what's up, boo? God damn. Yeah, she was super cute.
She
stayed fine the whole time too.
Yeah.
Didn't age one bit.
Not a goddamn day.
Kevin's like 40 years old. You still 12.
Yeah.
How'd that work? Okay.
She comes in to get Kevin, and
I felt really sorry for her actually too.
Yeah.
It was really horrible.
And Kevin tells his sister that he didn't do anything, but the cops feed her the bullshit that they're serving, and Kevin pleads with his sister to just sign the confession that was coerced out of him so you can go home. And sadly, Angie being berated by, these cops and the sight of her crying little brother with a black eye, she signs it. Yusuf's mom comes down to the police station and is like, "Where the fuck is my son?"
Yeah.
And the white women are like, "Well," and she was like, "No, bitch. Do you want me to get fucking the news? You want me to get Inside Edition? You want me to get New York Times? Eyewitness News? You better get your ass. You better give me my goddamn son." It was like, all right.
No, that was some black mama shit. I was
That
like,
shit made me feel good.
yeah, like, right, like, and that's what this fucking series does. It gives you those moments where you're like, yeah, we gonna make it, and you're like, right, not for 14 years. But, no. Like, that's the part she should have. If she smacked her across that, like, knocked her right over the railing, like, that shit would have been glorious to me. And they could have just ran the credits right then, like, thanks for watching. It's been fun.
And she walks in as he's like signing, writing something down.
Like,
Yep.
She was like, "Nigga, what the fuck is going on here?"
no. Nope.
And Raymond Jr. is allowed to leave with his father. Fairstein meets with Elizabeth Lederer to talk about the case. Lederer is poking holes in this flimsy-ass case and questions Fairstein's approach. Fairstein is running with "they're all guilty"
The
line.
laziest of fucking ideas.
Right. So the lawyers and the cops are trying to get the boys on tape with rehearsed statements. And they're all saying different things because it's all fake. And
Okay. Here's the thing that really bothers me about this. She is aware that Ferenstein's tactics are bullshit.
Yeah.
She knows that this doesn't make any sense. Somehow, in her twisted fucking brain, none of this makes sense. Seems like you're making it up. Cool, I'll defend it and run with it. And then completely buys into it.
You have to.
Where is your fucking morality?
It's like your job is more important than your morality.
That's not the job. Morality isn't the job.
Yeah,
It's what you
That's the difference between me and other people.
Yeah, is to get the
I'm not
conviction.
putting 5 innocent kids in jail.
Yeah, I can't.
At
I'm not.
first she was kind of like, what? Like,
Yeah.
none of this makes sense. Like, we'll make it make sense. Like, but I can't. Okay, well, fuck it. This is my job. I guess I got to do my job to ruin someone's life.
Nah, yo.
Like, I don't have that. I don't have that part. I don't have that part in my brain to just fuck somebody over because that's my job.
Yeah, that's
I couldn't be like, if that's what a prosecutor's job is. Nah, I'm not. No thanks.
I think then if that is a prosecutor's job, then we are teaching lawyers who want to be prosecutors. We are teaching them incorrectly. We are, because you can't teach some like you should. Everybody has a right to a fair trial, and that's fine. But when the shit don't make sense, it don't make sense.
Yeah,
you don't just you're like, oh, we've got a round hole and a square peg. Cool, no problem. Give me that saw. I'll just cut the edges off and just shove it in. That's not how it works. It either fits or it doesn't fit. You don't cram it in to make it fit, and that's what they did.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I don't think I could be a lawyer. Period. Defense or fucking prosecutor.
No, it's not. It's not. It's
Like,
not for me.
I don't have it in me because I couldn't defend somebody that I know murdered someone to try to get like if it's like the death penalty is the max to try to get them a less of a sentence. Like, you did that shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just trying to keep you from getting murdered. I'm just trying to keep you from the death penalty, and you'll spend like life in prison with the possibility of parole or some shit like that. Like, nah, you murdered somebody. Nah, fuck that. I can't defend you. But then there are people that are actually innocent. So like I don't know. How the fuck do you do that as a lawyer?
I know a guy who's a defense attorney, and make a lot of money
You make a lot of. I know that, but like
defending scumbags.
I can't do it. And as a prosecutor, like if I know somebody's guilty, but I have to do my job to try to get that conviction and try to get that my win rate up. Essentially like a fucking sports team or some shit like that.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't know. I guess I don't have the personality to do that, to be able to do that.
Yeah. That's not for me.
No.
I mean, like, obviously there are many types of lawyers. Your wife is not a criminal lawyer.
She worked for a firm for about a cup of coffee, and they did prosecutions, and she was just like,
Yeah, it's not for her. Like,
nope.
yeah, it's like,
That doesn't strike me as her type of personality.
no, she's not built like that. We have a friend who is a lawyer under Marilyn Mosby, and she
I know her.
and she it's her job to bust cops. Bust
I
cops.
think I'd like to do that.
You go to law school like, so what's the job I get to go after cops? Like, oh, right. Oh, this class? Oh, this
yeah,
one?
You would like to do it, but it's
dangerous.
I can
One, it's
imagine.
dangerous, and two, it's incredibly corrupt. Like she has a lot of obstacles thrown her way,
I can imagine.
and it's incredibly frustrating. So it's worthwhile work, but
You got your work cut out for you.
yeah, boy,
That fucking
you
corrupt ass
got a
system.
lot of shit, boy. So
It's a goddamn shame that, like, again, like, there's that trope, like the cops are the biggest gang in the world. It's the fucking truth.
I mean, it's the truth, yo.
It's the absolute truth.
Sometimes literally, like I was scrolling through Facebook, so take that for whatever it is. And it was one of those now this videos. Again, take that for whatever it is. And it was talking about how there were cops in was it Texas or something like that were all a part of a gang in the brotherhood of police or whatever.
The fraternal order of cops.
And they all got matching skull tattoos and shit because they were all a part of this gang. And
That makes sense.
And they were beating the shit out of people as cops.
I mean, there are a number of white supremacist groups.
Essentially have the right to do so as a cop.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
impunity.
there are a number of white supremacist groups that have cops in their midst. Yep.
Great time.
That's why when the military finds out that you're a white supremacist, they kick you out. Like, you can't have any gang tattoos and shit. Like, you're gone. For that very reason. Yeah.
Why the fuck don't the police do that shit?
What are the criteria
Next.
to be?
Fuck, nigga, I don't have an answer for that. It's a good-ass question. Who knows?
This guy's got a swastika tattooed on his neck.
He should
might
be
be good.
He should be pretty even.
Give him a gun.
I mean, he graduated from the academy. Why was he allowed to get in the first place? I mean, he was able-bodied.
Yeah.
No criminal record that we know of, right?
Did you look into it? Got busy.
Crime. Like, okay.
He seems tough on crime. That's enough for it.
Corey's mother, Dolores, played by Niecy Nash, who does a very, very good job in this series.
Yeah, you gotta
Comedy.
put some respect on her, man. She was awesome.
She is trying to find Corey.
She was on Reno 911. Yeah, that's a wild fucking career arc, man.
Again, comedy to drama is like apparently an easy leap.
Yo, comedians are tearing it up these days, like a lot. Yeah, her, John Leguizamo, like, yeah, it's wild.
She's trying to find Corey at the police station when she is accosted by reporters. A detective assaults Corey, and the quote-unquote good cop comes in to manipulate him. Corey then gives a rehearsed, coerced statement on camera, and God damn it, he admitted to the rape. So
how anyone could watch that and think that this kid is of sound mind is beyond me. That this is my first rape. Who says shit like that?
Yeah.
Like I don't understand how you could just watch and be like, now this kid seems like totally normal functioning. It clearly isn't.
The boys minus Corey are thrown in a holding cell together, and they all meet for the first time. And they all admit that they all lied on each other.
And this is a hell of a shot, by the way. This is the shot that they use for the cover. The four of them in the holding cell together. It's just a powerful shot.
That's the end of episode 1. Yeah. Episode 2 starts off with newscasts recapping the crime, and we get a quick sense of a reporter reframing the story in a way that makes the juveniles look like monsters.
Yeah.
God damn, yo.
What did he say? We need another word for emphasis. Smash, hurt, rob, stomp. The enemies were rich, and then we need another word for emphasis. Yeah. It's just literally just using the media as a weapon at that point.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not the media's job to tell the truth.
No, it's their job to sell.
Yeah.
By the way, I thought this was a curious thing where they have the report playing like audio wise over this older black man walking, and they're like the kids they were saying they were just out wilding, which is a new teenage slang for rampaging like a wolf pack. And they have this old black man walking, and then they've got like these 5 gay dudes walking, and they're just like kicking shit over and acting crazy. And I thought that was a really good sign. It's like, wilding is not a black thing. It's a youth thing.
Yeah.
And it was just go to show you, like, here's even these white gay dudes just acting a fool. Like, that's all they were doing.
Yeah.
That's all they were doing. And it's no different. But, you know, I don't know if people kind of really caught that, but I thought that was a really nice way to show that there's no difference.
We find out that Corey will remain at Rikers Island. The 16-year-old Corey Wise will remain at Rikers Island, while the other boys are in juvenile detention, except for the one who posted bail. I think it was Yusuf posted bail. Mm-hmm. We get a Trump cameo. Trump spent $85,000 on the infamous full-page death penalty ad.
It's real. That's real.
Yeah, that is real. You can see it. You can read it. And
It's on the internet.
yeah,
People still think this nigga's not a racist. White people still make that fucking argument. Still make that argument. Every time I'm like, okay, I will even give that piece of shit. You can even, for a second, give that piece of shit the benefit of the doubt that he thought, hey, these kids did this horrendous thing because that's what the news said, and, let's say it was a fact. This motherfucker turned around after they were exonerated and said that was bullshit. After they're exonerated, no, I still don't believe it. That is the mark of a racist. That is the mark of a racist. And even confronted with hard fucking evidence, you still can't go, it turns out I was wrong.
He can't admit it wrong.
He's doing at all.
About anything.
He never admits anything wrong because that's
weakness.
That's right. That's his brand. I'm right about everything.
Which is so not really your brand. Your brand is that you're retarded. That's your brand. That is your brand. And he sticks to that brand. He is down the line 100% of the time.
That's funny.
I hate that motherfucker.
I hate his guts, When I saw that, I messaged you guys. I was just like, yo, the second he showed up, I was just like, oh, I want to fucking punch this guy in the mouth.
And he used they used actual Trump footage. It wasn't. Yeah,
that was smart.
Yeah.
Don't even give this motherfucker wiggle room. That's what you said.
That's what you said. That's what you said, Trump. That's what you said. And it wasn't like it.
Bring back the death penalty. Bring back our police. What does that even mean? Bring back our police.
It's the same rhetoric that he's using now.
Make America great again. What?
Well, the military has been decimated. We need to bring.
Hasn't.
No, it hasn't.
It really has not. We could go out and destroy any country we fucking want at any given moment.
Any of them.
Even Russia. We may have a hard time because they got a lot of fucking nukes. They have more than we do. And Russia's such a shithole country. All the white folks.
I mean,
I don't think they're afraid to use them. No, they'd be like our place is fucked up anyway. We just add to the fucked upness.
Yeah.
I mean, I think China would give us a run.
Yeah,
because they got the numbers. I mean,
they got a billion of them niggas. Like this, but half of them are probably we don't want to live here either.
Right?
Really would like to go. We're really poor. I don't know if you guys know that, but a lot of China's poor as fuck.
Yeah, China and Russia. But no,
everybody else, no. Oh, we got a nuke in England. Do you? Gone. No,
you got a nuke in England. We got a nuke for England.
That shit says nuke England on the fucking warhead.
Right.
Governor.
That's how they.
That's what it says when you hit the button. It's like
Hello, governor.
It's like the that was easy fucking Staples button. Governor. They didn't watch this. But it's the same rhetoric he always uses. So there are two things about the Trump thing that I found interesting. One, he uses the same rhetoric. None of that has changed. Two, this nigga's been ugly forever.
Yeah, I mean, what's this? He was less ugly, but I
don't think it was less ugly. I think it was thinner.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah. He's always just been a not good looking guy.
He's not a very attractive man, and his son looks like Sloth.
Which one?
The blonde haired one. The blonde haired one really looks like, hey, you guys. He looks like
Eric. Is that
Eric?
It's Eric.
Yeah. But you know what's funny? Ivanka looked like that before she got her head cut off.
Yeah, she did, yo.
They look just alike, yo.
She really did.
Nah, yo, Ivanka's ugly as fuck. She looked just like her brother, yo. Knock it off.
She really did.
She had a lot of work.
She had a lot of work.
Yeah,
done.
she was just. Now
her fucking father wants to fuck her.
Yeah, well.
I mean, he wanted to before.
Yeah.
Inbreed.
It's probably why they all look like that.
Yeah, there's a little bit of inbreeding in the Trump family. There has to be, because his father looks like a fucking a worn leather strap. He was ugly as shit. God damn.
He looked like, if you've ever seen that TV that made for TV Captain America movie when they had Red Skull, but he had skin over his skull so you couldn't tell, and he was supposed to be like a normal guy. That's what his father looked like. They just pulled some disgusting skin over a skeleton. It was gross.
It's funny. Corey, Kevin, and Raymond await pretrial. Kevin points out that Yusuf told him that the only reason Corey is caught up in all of this is because Corey was trying to be a good friend. And when the dogs were out kidnapping black youth, they approached Yusuf, and Corey, who just happened to see it, he came up and was like, "Hey, what's going on here?" And the cop convinced Corey. He's like, "Hey, you want to be a good friend, don't you?
Yeah.
Look out for your boy. Come down to the station with us." And that's
one
why
of the
he
other
got
cop
caught
was
up
like,
in
he's not on the list.
right. And he was just like,
whatever.
it should get all of us. I got a dog brain. I can't think for myself.
Yeah, I'm an automaton.
Yusuf is, next thing Yusuf is in a car with his mom and a reverend that helped bail them out. They get accosted by reporters. Yusuf's mother, Sharon, is shocked when she hears that Trump wants the death penalty. The reverend calls Trump a real estate hustler, and Micah says that's the truth. Sharon and her friend are sitting down trying to cope with what's going on, and Trump is on TV spouting some nonsense about blacks having an advantage in life. And we cut to a scene of an actual Trump quote. There's video of it, right? Like, there's not even like audio. She does a very good job of getting the video so you can see
not hard to get.
the words coming out of this nigga's mouth. And he's on TV talking about how blacks, I would want to be a black because they have advantages that me as a white doesn't. And
That's one of them.
I would love to be a well-educated black because I really believe they do have an actual advantage today.
Who the fuck believes this? Classic fucking Chris Rock line. A white guy in the Midwest who's broke wouldn't trade places with me, and I'm rich. Yo, get the fuck out of here. Are you serious? In America? Yo, if being white was a fucking sports team, nigga, I would re-up every year. Are you kidding? The benefits are amazing. Y'all can kill 45 fucking people in Vegas or 100 people in Vegas, and it's still not called domestic terrorism. Oh, well, I mean, maybe it was just misunderstood. What the fuck are you talking about?
There's a lone wolf.
There's a bunch of
We
them.
had 2 lone wolves in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Fucking, like, we're recording this on a day where there have been 2 mass shootings in 24 hours
Right.
in America.
By 2 white men.
By two white
By
men.
2 white men, yeah.
One of which they arrested without incident.
Yeah. I just...
Interesting how that works. The other
They
one
killed a 12-year-old black boy for having a fucking BB
We're having a
gun
Nerf gun,
in 2
guys.
seconds.
in 2 seconds.
2
I
seconds.
just saw some fucking retard in a group that I'm in talking about we're all equal under the law. No, we're not. I don't have time to explain institutionalized racism to you. You're a fucking idiot. Welcome to America. It's 2019. Get off your fishing boat and walk into a fucking city, you asshole. Like, it baffles me. You'd rather be black. Fuck off. Fuck off. Why don't you come on down to Baltimore on North Avenue and talk that shit? See if you'd rather be black then. I hate that nigga, yo. He gets on my fucking nerves, yo. I hate his ass. I hate him. So worst fucking president we have ever had. Period.
I mean, not president. He's in the running for worst human being of all time, guys.
No, he's a top seed. Top seed,
He's in
dude.
the top 5.
Top 5, yo. God damn.
Living or dead. Like, I'm like
yeah.
for real,
Like,
guys.
he's
It's like there's Hitler.
And I know you're not supposed to make that comparison, but whatever, yo. We're beyond
We're
that
here.
shit.
No, we here, yo. We here.
We're beyond that shit now, yo.
It's like Hitler, Felicity Huffman, Donald Trump.
Yeah, this dude is he is something else. Yeah, I don't get it. I get it. Like to still support him means you're a racist. I don't.
It's
No, don't. I wish I was a political pundit sometimes, and they would just have me on like CNN or MSNBC against like a fucking Republican talking about. Well, I don't really agree with some of his words, but like we're talking about politics. Like, no, you're a racist.
You'd have one appearance. And
It would be, I mean, it would be me. I'm like, all of y'all niggas are racist.
No, look, that shit was skyrocketing on YouTube. That mean, like, grand opening, grand
You're not
closing.
gonna scrub that from the internet. Like, all of y'all motherfuckers are racist. Y'all gonna have me on next week? Probably not. Like, good, cool, fuck you. Anybody that supports Trump is a fucking racist. That would be my statement.
Yeah.
Hope you like being on Bill Maher, because that's the only other person that would take you after that.
Yeah. and if I was on Bill Maher, I'd be like,
and you were
racist too, nigga.
Terrence, it's not a big deal. I mean, I feel like a house nigger sometimes. Like, no, don't do
I'll
that.
punch you in your face.
Don't do that.
I'll knock that nigga. That's live too, right?
Yeah.
I'll punch him right in his mouth.
Can you imagine?
Wow.
Can you imagine Bill Maher getting punched in the face on his show?
Right in that big ass nose.
Right.
Just right in his face.
Like,
That shit would be hilarious. I haven't watched
like,
that show
cut.
since he said, sometimes I feel like a house nigga. I was like, and we're...
Yeah. Like, nah, yo, don't do that. Like, I know you're a comedian, but no, stop it.
We find out that the families have all sought legal counsel of varying degrees of experience.
Yeah.
Blair Underwood is like a divorce lawyer.
Yo, look. That was a wild scenario. I was like, the fuck is Blair Underwood doing this? But I was like, damn, Blair Underwood is doing really good in this shit, like the show. Like I thought he was really quite good.
Yeah, Blair Underwood can act.
I always like to see him pop up in things.
Every now and
They
again.
look the same.
He still looks the same. Yeah, he still looks the same.
Handsome ass nigga, dude. All right. Age, please.
Is he almost 60?
Yeah.
If he's not already?
Elizabeth Lederer doesn't take the lawyers that they... So there's a scene with Elizabeth Lederer and some lackey, and he's giving the exposition of the different lawyers. He's like, this black guy's a divorce lawyer. He's no threat. And
Blair Underwood's 54 years old.
Yeah, he's my mother's age.
And Elizabeth Lederer is like, nah, yo. These guys are trying to make their nut. Like, they're trying to make their career off of this, and they are full of ambition.
Yeah, they're going to use every bit of lawyering they know.
Yep.
To try to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You
look,
have
to their credit, like they got screwed because of the system.
Yeah.
They won that case.
They did.
They did.
Like, it's not like it was a fucking hard case to win. There was no evidence. But, like, yo, how the fuck as a fucking juror, yo?
Racism.
Do you just
Because
sit there?
they're
But they
stupid.
were like black jurors too. Yo, that's not. I'm like, what the fuck did y'all see?
Now, I've never had jury duty. Does everyone have to come to a consensus?
Yeah.
I was on an attempted murder case.
Really?
Yep.
I
Guy shot a dude.
Who did Terrence try to kill?
Terrence, the fuck you doing in a crack house, man?
Getting revenge.
I've had like they've called me in for jury duty, but they've never picked me.
Yeah, I had
they
been
ask
on the
you
trial for
questions.
3 days, yo.
They ask you
3
questions
days.
like, I don't fuck with cops, yo.
That's how. Look, that's
So they're
how.
like, nope.
I don't believe in the justice system.
That's how
don't.
Teflon I am to like cops and shit. Like, I've never been called for jury duty. Not even jury duty.
Nah, yo.
I've been called like 3 times.
I've gone to jury duty twice.
I
and
haven't
got caught.
gone because again they've never picked me because they'd be like, "Do you have any aversion?" Because they ask you those questions. I'm like, "No, I don't fucking like cops. I don't."
Does that shit really work? Like, you're just like, I'm a racist.
Like you gotta be slicker about it, right? You can't be like, I believe in Zorbal and God. Like, I could just let you out. Yo, they know all the bullshit. Like,
Right? No, I legitimately just don't.
like one of the things you
I'm
can
not a-
say
I'm
is
not a
like,
fan of cops.
I've got a relative who was a police officer, like, and then they'd be like, do you feel like you could be impartial? If you're like, no. Like,
Yeah, they
burn them all, and
You're
they'd be like, nah, you gotta go.
If they ask you if you feel like you can be impartial, I'm like, no. Mm-mm. I'm
Oh,
like,
that's all you
if
gotta
it's
really
kind
say?
of like a if
Yeah, really.
See, but the
I'm like,
problem
nah.
is
I can't
right,
lie. Like, I can't
people
lie on
would-
things like that.
people would lie.
Yeah.
Who are, you know.
And that's the thing is, I felt like if I don't do this, because I knew you don't know what the trial is until
Right.
like you get involved. Like I felt like I started to look at the makeup of people that they were allowed, like they kind of dismiss people and like who's left. And, and this started to get like mad light in there, and I was like,
I mean, it's like the prosecutors and the
like that.
defenders, like they
Yeah, it's like picking,
have
it's like
they're
picking
picking and
kickball.
choose, choose who they think they want to be on there to have the best chance to win their case.
yeah, it started.
And
to get
I'm a terrible candidate for either one. Like I just like. I don't like the justice. Like I don't fucking like none of y'all niggas, to be real with you.
Look, the guy who got convicted. Nah, he deserved it, yo.
No.
Yeah, they were in a crack house doing crack all night, and then dude just like shot one guy like 3 times and almost killed him.
God damn.
I was like, open and shut case, Johnson. Like that shit. I was like, yo,
damn, like you was wild.
Yo, they had the dude there. They had the dude he shot that almost died. He came and testified, and I was like, man, this seems
Like, yeah, that nigga shot me.
Yeah, I was like that's it.
Y'all were doing crack together?
Yeah. And it was some fucking wild shit. They hit that dude with like 30 to 40 years. I actually felt like I felt a way about it. Like I did. I was like, damn, that's fucked up. Like I helped put that guy away for the rest of his life, right? But at the same time, I'm like
I didn't do this. You did that. Like you put 3 bullets in somebody.
Yeah,
trying to kill him.
Yeah.
So nah.
Amongst other things, it was like he got hit with like that drug possession. Like they were just like. It was like draw 4. Color is red, nigga. Draw 2. Reverse back to me. Draw 2 again. Like they was hitting that dude with all kinds of shit. That sucks. Uno, you're dead.
The families and the lawyers go over a game plan. Their plan is to prove that the boys were coerced. Elsewhere, letterer Fairstein and District Attorney Morgenthau formed their own plan to have separate trials for the boys so that the coerced confessions won't need much editing.
The fact that you have to edit a fucking
right,
like a statement, like no, let that tape run.
Yeah.
Why does he have to rehearse a statement that he did something that he
like? It just like none of the shit passes the smell test, yo. Yeah. Like that's like
it should scream to them.
It's like cut, nigga. What? No. And then when they're watching it, he's like, "This is the fuck is this? This is cut to shit." Like, well, we got to use it. I'm like, all right, well, that works somehow. Whatever.
Back at the meeting, Yusuf's lawyer wants a separate trial, and they all squabble. And Raymond's lawyer is like, he explains to the group that the judge assignments are supposed to be random, but in this case, it was given to Judge Galligan, a judge notorious for siding with the state.
10 out of 9 times, he says.
Right.
Fairstein tells Lederer and Morgenthau that they have a sock with semen in it. And Lederer is like, how the NYPD miss that? And Fairstein is like, don't worry about all that. Just know we got a sock with semen in it.
Yo, that seemed mad shady to me. like again, if you are a letterer, I'd be like, I don't want to work on this case with you. You seem fucked up. But again, how the fuck are you as Fernstein? Like, you're just like, let's just add this in. Let's just move this around. Like, yo, like, you are trying to shave the corners off of that square peg to just desperately get it into that round hole.
Like, this is how the system works, right? Like, behind the scenes, like, everything that you don't see and you don't know about, like, they're literally moving around the
fucking
pieces of the board so that the house wins.
Right.
Like, it's fucking wild, man.
Yeah. Let's just change. Oh, they went to this place before they went to this place.
How do you change facts, yo? How do you change facts in a situation where facts are the thing that you are supposed to go by? You're just gonna be like, well, this is an alternative fact of they were here and now they're over here across town, and like it just doesn't.
But again, if you're a letterer and you hear this,
yeah, you're like, nah, yo, I can't do this.
If you're the district attorney. Wow! How? What?
Yeah, that's a serious dereliction of duty. You need to be like, yo, this doesn't work. Like, these kids didn't do it. That's clear. If the shit, if the facts don't fit, you don't change the facts to fit it. You go, the conclusion is that it doesn't work. But I don't know. I live in a world of logic and reason. So,
could you imagine the scientific method? If the
the hands of these people,
right?
What the fuck, dude? Evolution. No, I think we'll just go with Magic Man did it. Fuck it. All right. It's cool.
Bobby McRae calls his wife and tells her that he must work he has to work a double, even though he doesn't. because he doesn't want to have to go to the trial the next day, because he's feeling a tremendous amount of guilt that he told his son to admit to that shit.
Yeah.
And he is too scared to look him in the face.
How do you feel about that?
What do you mean?
If you told let's say you told your son to kind of put himself in on this,
It's
right?
very difficult for me to answer that because I wouldn't do it. Keep going.
I'm just saying, obviously theoretical. Yeah, it's theoretical. I don't think I could face my kid either. Like, I feel sorry for Michael K. Williams in that. Obviously, like, being who I am and living the life that I have lived, which again is a level of privilege, right? I don't have the situation of being an ex-con or, you know, a felon and things like that. But given who I am, if I had done something that destroyed my kid's life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could just roll up and be like, it's going to be all right.
Pappy's here, what up? Like, no. Like, I think, like, as much as Antron hates his father to this day after his father died, there's got to be a part of you that understands that. You know what I mean?
You would
like,
think.
There's got to... And I don't want to say it should be anything because I didn't go through that, right? Like, that is not for me to say. But I would think that for me, there's got to be a part... At some point in your life, you got to go, yeah, I get why he didn't want to come around. Like, he felt like garbage about it. And if I was Michael K. Williams, I would too. I don't know that I could look my daughter in the eye if I was like, yeah, do this thing, and it just stripped 6, 7, 15 years away from your life.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think I could.
On the day of the trial, there are interviews and protests everywhere. One of the lawyers asks Lederer to play fair for a change. He pulls her aside and is like, "So you're gonna, do this by the book? You're gonna play fair. You're gonna do your job the way you're supposed to do it."
Yeah, this, like, the second he said that, I was like, oh, so this is foreshadowing for her to act like a fucking asshole.
Yep.
Sure enough.
The trial of the People versus Yusuf Salam, Antron McCrae, and Raymond Santana begins. Antron's lawyer gives an impassioned opening statement. Raymond's lawyer gives a very standard, matter-of-fact opening statement. And Yusuf's lawyer points out that the race of all parties involved plays a huge factor in the court of public opinion, and thus the police wanted to hurry and close this case ASAP Rocky. The trial continues.
I hate you so much.
Later, Lederer tells Fairstein that her cloth cum bag doesn't contain any DNA from the boys, and Lederer is frazzled. And she's like, "Look, we're about to lose this shit. I shouldn't have done this shit in the first place. This stinks of your laziness all over it." And Fairstein is like, come on now. We're white women. We got to stick together for this other white woman. Fuck the law.
Yeah, basically.
Right.
Yeah. And there's been 3,000 rapes. What about those? Like, yeah, bitch, what does it got to do with this?
What does that have to do with this one? Well, there's no proof that these niggas
how
did
many
anything.
white women get raped out there? And we got a chance to get justice for one by throwing the 5 lives away from people who probably didn't do it. But I'm going to convince myself that they did. Fairstein is jumping through hoops to rationalize her preconceived opinion of the truth and trying to convince Lederer of the same.
I mean, you want to talk about some confirmation bias, boy. Oof.
Yeah,
like she is working overtime to make this shit work.
This shit is ridiculous.
Yeah.
The trial continues, and the state calls forth the victim, Patricia Melly. She can't remember details about what happened to her.
This is dirty pool, by the way. This is absolute dirty pool.
And she didn't say it wasn't them, but she can't relate. So this
that's
woman,
some foul shit. Like,
Yeah, you just working her for sympathy,
yeah,
basically.
you bring
Right.
her on the stand like she's been through hell and back.
right, up
Like,
limping
come
up
on,
there and shit.
yeah,
like, god
yeah,
damn,
that's
yo.
fucking
I mean,
foul.
and everybody feels sorry for her.
Right.
Of course.
Right,
Like,
because she
innocent.
is truly an innocent victim.
Like, even the ones that are, even the fucking defendants are like, oof, god damn.
Right.
And they know they didn't do the shit, but they're like, yo, that's fucked up.
And look, I'm not going to say much about her because she is the victim in this also. But she is convinced that it was more than one attacker. Like we later find out,
even to this day,
she was convinced that it was more than one attacker. She's not saying that these 5 guys did it. She's not saying that they didn't do it. She's saying that she remembers more than one person being there. And it's fucked up, man. I wouldn't wish this on anybody.
Yeah, like, because I saw a whole thing with her saying this, and like I couldn't help but be like, yo, shut the fuck up, yo. Like, and I can't help but feel that way because you don't know. And when you say, I feel as though like 5 kids had their lives ruined.
Yeah.
And again, it's not blaming the victim. And I'm not really mad at her. I'm just saying, like, that's my emotional response. It's like, please stop saying, well, maybe. Like, we don't have space for, well, maybe. We don't anymore. We don't. We just don't. Those kids lost their fucking lives over this shit.
Yeah. And
that's not her fault. I'm just like...
You're not helping.
You're not helping. You're just not helping. And again, you are 100% an innocent bystander in this horrendous fucking situation. But saying statements like that, you're not helping anybody. Yeah. All you're actually doing is ceding ground to people like Donald Trump.
Yeah, they didn't do it. The 5 kids that they said did it did not do it. Now, the one that said he did it admitted to it, and his DNA was there. Like, so at this point, like, the cops fucked up. She was kind of like, I can't imagine why the cops would do such a thing. That's kind of what her statement was. Like, I mean, I kind of want to see all of the records from the trial because I can't imagine the cops would do such a thing to these kids.
And that's most people's mentality.
Yeah, it's because most people who they ask this shit are white.
Yeah.
Like, sorry.
It is. Like,
yeah, look, I know she can't imagine that.
Happened.
It happened. Like, the thing is, it's not like a situation of a white woman saying, I was whistled at by a black boy, and then like this black kid is killed. Your statements got that kid killed, right? Like what you did got that kid killed. So you can't admit like your fault in that. Yeah. There is no fault in this, right? You are not at fault. However, the idea that I can't imagine, like, here's a statement from her in January. And again, we're not blaming her. It's just, this is just a real raw emotional response. This is a statement from her in January of this year. I so wish that this case hadn't been settled. I wish that it had gone to court because there was a lot of information now being released that I'm seeing for the first time. I support the work of law enforcement and the prosecutors. They treated me with such dignity and respect. I understand that. I'm sure they did treat you with dignity and respect. You're the victim. The victim. That does not fucking mean they treated them with dignity and respect.
What kind of response is that?
But that...
Like, I don't even understand that.
But is that not the response of fucking every conservative, every white person that you hear about any case? Well, the cops would never do that. I've never had a run-in with cops. Oh, anecdotal evidence is the evidence we're using now? Because that's what that is. And again, that's not her fault because what she's saying is her truth. But their truth is that they didn't do it. And that has bored out. So don't give some fucking, well, I wish they had. No. Because you don't know. And you're ceding ground to fucking bigots and racists who go, well, maybe the Central Park 5, maybe they weren't innocent. This isn't like the hurricane story that was all made up, all right? This shit is real. Like, so it's just, look, I get it. I get it. Like, you don't know, and it's sad. And I really wish that shit hadn't happened to her. Yeah. I truly do. But you don't play in that fucking nebulous playground. Is dangerous.
Yeah, don't play in the fucking margins on this one.
No.
Like, they didn't do it.
Right.
Like, this is a black and white situation here.
Right.
Literally.
But
right? Like, they didn't fucking do it.
And I can understand her being like, they treated me well, whatever. I get all that. Of course they did. Here's a statement that you could say. These 5 kids clearly didn't do it. And like, I'm just glad the shit is over with. That's it. The guy who admitted is in jail forever for raping a number of people. This shit fits his MO 100%. So, like, I don't think he was like, hey, let's let those 5 kids out. I don't buy that. Also, his DNA is all over everything.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah.
Antron confronts his father about why he hadn't seen him during the trial, and his father gives this half-assed answer and sends him and his mother home in a cab. He does not go with them. The trial continues. The NYPD detectives are on the stand, and their stories don't add up. Like, it was
Even their
right.
stories don't.
They like, nah,
Right.
he ain't say that. What the fuck is that nigga talking about? He ain't say that shit. Like, yeah, he did. But wait, what? So, again, I can't imagine the jury listening to all of this shit, and at the end of the day, yeah, they're guilty. What? Like, how, yo?
Again,
How does that make any fucking sense?
again, like you said earlier, like any person with common sense is like, well, this is stupid. None of this,
Yeah,
none of this makes sense.
any goddamn sense.
Maybe I don't know the real story. Maybe something good is gonna happen at the end of this. No, like she's setting you up.
Yo, the swelling of the music, you're like, we gonna be free. No. No, she pulled
Somebody
that,
get
she,
Kendrick Lamar because we're gonna be all right.
Yeah.
I was like,
nah, she pulled the rug right up under you. Like, I mean, that was some expert fucking directing. Because you really do feel like, yo, they are, like, oh, it's an alternative Central Park 5 story. Like, man, this is like
This is
Earth.
a fucking what if?
Yeah, like the Earth 2 story. No. Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Antron sits with Raymond and they talk about what's happening to them. Raymond is just dejected. The trial continues, and one of the lab techs that tested the evidence for DNA mentions
Oh, he
the
fucked
sock.
Oh, he fucked up.
And the defendants and their lawyers are like, sock? Sock? What sock?
Yeah, boy. You could tell in that moment, he was like, oh, damn.
Like, okay.
Got you, bitch.
And everyone cheers when it is said that there was no DNA evidence of the boys anywhere at the scene. Antron's lawyer.
Again, she's bleeding profusely. Not a shred of her DNA on them, and not a shred of their DNA on her.
Yeah.
What are we having a conversation about here?
Now, was this a time when DNA evidence wasn't widely used?
Yeah. Like DNA evidence.
Like,
didn't
people
become,
don't
like,
understand.
really, really big into like the 90s.
Yeah, because people just don't understand what DNA evidence is.
Certainly at this time, they probably
Yeah.
didn't.
That might be part of why the verdict was reached the way it was, because the DNA, I don't know what the fuck that is.
I don't even know what that means. Some people still
So
don't know what the fuck it means.
I don't know. I'm not excusing the idiocy of the jury. I'm trying to get into their heads.
I refuse. I'm not convicting someone where there's literally, because you have to convict somebody without what is it?
Without reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
and
there
right,
was
and
a
there's
bunch of reasonable doubt.
Yeah,
Right.
DNA aside, there's a ton of reasonable doubt.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite albums, by the way.
Very good. Pretty sure there's a song played from Reasonable Doubt in the soundtrack.
Antron's lawyer speaks with Lederer privately, and Lederer says that this case isn't about justice; it's about politics.
Yo, go throw yourself off the railing, bitch. Like,
and,
fuck you, yo.
and politics is about survival. And Lederer wants to make a plea deal.
This is conservative politics, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, it is. It's not about the truth. It's not about the fact, oh, the earth's on fire. Fuck it. But it's about surviving in Congress. What the fuck, yo?
It's about
winning.
It's about winning. It's about surviving the flaming hot earth.
Yeah. We need rich people bunkers to get underground. Right. Like, what about everyone else? What about these kids? What about them?
What about them?
What about ism? Antron's lawyer.
I really wish it was totally legal to just punch people in the face. I just do. It's like the purge, right? Like just like 24 hours.
Give me
You just
24 hours to just knock the shit out of anybody I fucking want.
I'm like, yo, just send me your address, yo. Just send me your address. I will be there.
So Lederer wants to make a plea deal, and Antron's lawyer brings this up to the group. Yusef tells everybody that they didn't do this shit, and they shouldn't admit to something that they didn't do.
It's a brave little boy, man. Yes.
The trial continues, and Raymond's lawyer catches one of the detectives in a bullshit lie. Bobby McRae comes with his family to the next day of the trial, and Bobby speaks with Antron. Antron is pissed that Bobby didn't show up for the first half of the trial, but now he wants to show up when it looks like things are in the clear.
Yo, he had on a fucking 1989 suit if I've ever seen one. Woo!
Looking like Big Daddy Kane and shit.
Yeah, the glasses too. I was like, yo, what's going
Like,
on?
stop it. Like, don't get on the stand looking like that, Aaron, please.
It was a Steve Harvey suit of his time. Like, you can't go to a job interview and that's Steve Harvey suit.
That's his best court suit.
Like you said, Terrence, Bobby is now on the stand, and he tells the court that he knew that Antron was telling the truth, but he told him to lie. And the prosecution cross-examined
Fucking
Bobby.
blood in the water.
Yep.
They cross-examined Bobby, and he just gets eviscerated, man. Like, this is, he doesn't know what the fuck to do, because he doesn't have a way of words, and old Willow here is fucking using those words like swords, man. Like, she is.
Yeah, she manipulates the shit out of him.
Yeah. Like you said earlier, so you're a violent man. Like father, like son?
Yeah. Right. You ever hit a white woman? Like, wait, what?
You ever rape a bitch? What?
Yeah, but that's one of the things that drives me crazy is like the legal system in this aspect it's not actually about the truth. It's about just slightly spinning the truth to bending the truth to your will, right? Because she's like, oh, you're a violent person, or like,
It's like manipulation of the truth.
right? Like you're working the margins of like little words and phrases and stuff like that. But like, yeah, but there's all this shit I did say, and like, I didn't say any of this.
When he was
This is why everybody gets pissed about semantics.
He's like, this is when I threw the chair. I'm like,
Yeah, I was like, please don't say that.
so you're violent. Like, I was upset, but I mean, they fucked him all the way up.
Yeah,
even Antron was like, God damn it, this nigga. Like, for real, at 14 years old or 15, he's like,
even he knew
this nigga done fucked my whole life up. Thanks, Dad. Appreciate it.
At the second trial, Corey is on the stand, and the prosecutor.
This scene, I was like, I can't.
Oh boy, the prosecution is pushing Corey. Like, she is put. Like, at one point, she asks Corey a question, and he's like, I don't know what that means, or something like that, and she asks it again, and Corey looks at the judge, is like,
He was like, what's wrong with this lady?
What's wrong with this lady, yo? I told her, I don't know what that shit means. I can't fucking read.
Yeah.
And
he plays the shit out of this role.
he does,
really
man.
He plays the
good.
shit out
He's
of
a
this role.
really good actor, man.
He's going places.
Corey, who is clearly not well educated, it becomes incredibly frustrated. Later, closing arguments begin. And look, the closing arguments, I mean, they maybe, coming from a biased point of view, but the defense has just impeccable closing arguments, right? And the prosecution is just like, but feels over reels, right? And
Essentially, yeah.
I feel like these niggas are guilty.
right, and the jury reached the verdict, and it is guilty. And again, how well the closing arguments for the defense were presented, juxtaposed to how poorly they were given for the prosecution, and then the music, I was like, all right, yeah, we're gonna do this, and then guilty, bam, cut to black. Like, oh, fuck you, yo.
Yeah, she hit that hammer pretty well too, because she doesn't give you any time to process it,
Right.
which is probably the point, right? It's like, just like those kids, like that guilty verdict comes down and your whole life changes immediately. She was like, guilty. We'll see in episode 3. You're like, Jesus Christ! Like, if this show had come out week by week, they'd have put a 2-week block in between episode 2 and 3. You're like, what the fuck?
It went on for a winter break.
Yeah, they're like, oh, come on. And the zombies show up in fucking Game of Thrones. We'll see in the episode or season 8. And you're like, fuck. Yeah, it was the way that's done is powerful. It gives you no time to just be like, oh, okay. Like, we'll see what happens next time. Like, nah, that's it.
So, yeah, that's the end of episode 2.
All right. There you go. So that's the end of this week's episode for Black and Black Cinema. We'll be back next week with a preview episode. And then episode 158 will be episodes 3 and 4 of When They See Us. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye. You're watching the Black on Black Cinema YouTube channel. Make sure you check out our full reviews of black movies, past and present. And every other week, we do a preview episode where we talk about a random topic that affects the black community.